Good afternoon, evening, Hornets and Hornet families. This is going to be a little bit of a weird video on account of I'm sitting outside my son's Taekwondo dojo to do this video. I didn't have time to do it today like I wanted to because we had professional development all day today. And boy, howdy, was it a busy weekend for us in the Hatcher household. It's gearing up for fall baseball season and fall ballet and all this other stuff. And so we went from having nothing to do to now it's just going to be multiple things every night. So I was thankful for the long weekend to get a chance to re-rack and reset before all of that starts, and we could get off on a clean slate. We got our house cleaned. We got both the kids' rooms cleaned, and now we're ready to move forward and keep getting off to a good start this school year. So I want to talk to you guys about what's going on, what's up. I'm sorry this is a little bit of a late video, but I too kind of enjoyed the long weekend, and I hope you did too, and you're coming in rested and ready to go this upcoming week. First thing that I want to do is I want to talk about last week. Again, just a reminder, if you need to find resources from the past, there's two places you can look. You can look in the lesson plan archive, which will show you all of our lesson plans. You can also go to this Unit 1, How We Study the World link and click that, and it'll show you only the things that you really, really, really need. Okay? So, for instance here, this is week 2, which I really think of as week 1 of the school year, but week 2, technically week 2 of the school year. And then last week was week 3. On Monday, we finished up our economics lesson. The notes for that are right here if they need the notes, or if they need to complete the assignment, you can click on this link there, and that'll take you directly to a version of the assignment that you can print or that you can do on notebook paper, adapt and overcome as necessary. All the things that are marked in green are graded assignments that students can earn credit for, and they can use that credit in the store to purchase their grades, rent their chairs, buy extras, buy all the fun stuff, whatever it is that they need to do. So the green things are things that they really need to make sure that they do. Okay? On Tuesday, we did the 5 themes of geography. We looked at these notes and glued a version of those notes into their notebooks. Then they read this 5 themes of geography reader right here. And when they finished doing that reader, then they worked on these code breaker activities right here. The code breaker activities were fairly straightforward, but there was some questions about the one on the left. I'm going to go ahead and address that. That way, if there's anybody that's still trying to finish this up and get it turned in, you can do that. On the left, if the statement is true, you're going to color in the coin with that letter. So like if statement A is true, you're going to color in the A coin. If the statement's false, you're going to put an X through the coin. At the end, the statements that are colored in, you're going to add those up. You should get a 3-digit number from all of that adding. That 3-digit number goes in front of the 7 to create a 4-digit code. The right-hand side was a little more straightforward for most people, it seemed like. Okay. On Wednesday, we looked at these movement and region notes, but we didn't add any notes to their notebook. And come on, buddy. And they did this understanding movement and regions activity. This little printout. It's a 1-page front and back. We did that on Wednesday. That's what we did on Wednesday. Those were the graded assignments. Thursday and Friday, we did the beginning of the year social studies test. And pretty much everybody finished that, except for I did have quite a few people in my 3rd and 4th period classes that left before the day was over, that didn't get that finished up, especially in 4th period. All right, let's talk about, before we talk about what's coming up this upcoming week, let's talk about grades. There's some important dates coming up in this month. September 11th is obviously the anniversary that the remembrance of September 11th. 15th through the 19th is Freedom Week, and the 17th in particular is Constitution Day. The 26th is American Indian Heritage Day, and this month is National Hispanic Heritage Month. Also coming up, technically last Friday was the end of the first 3 weeks of school, so you guys should be getting your progress report for those first 3 weeks this Friday. I don't know that we had to have our grades turned in by noon, but I don't know when they're going to pull them for the grades. If you are a student who was absent from my class on Friday and you have stuff that's marked in Skyward as 0 and missing, you're fine. You're fine. When you come in tomorrow, we'll deal with that really quickly. Pretty much all of you already have the means to get that dealt with, and it's not a big deal. It's just because you were absent. I like to keep the grade book totally up to date. So, if you do nothing else, this is what my grade will be right now. Okay? For absent people, don't trip about that. Whenever you come in and you see that you got the zeros, don't be freaking out. We have a absence policy. I will replace that 0 with the appropriate grade once you get it done and get it turned into me. Okay? So just a heads up on that. Remember also that all things that are graded for a unit are due by the end of that unit, because we have the end of this unit coming up, not this week, but probably the week after that, or worst case scenario, the week following. Okay, so very soon you're going to be at the end of this unit, and all this stuff's going to need to get turned in, or it's bygones be bygones. All right, let's talk about this upcoming week. Lesson plans, you can click here and you'll see the lesson plans for the whole week. Pretty simple this week because 2 days of the week we didn't have school. Monday, no school yesterday, no school for you guys today. We had work, but you guys did not. Wednesday, tomorrow, we will be continuing our deep dive on PEGs, okay? We're currently in the G of PEGs on geography, and we're going to be looking at human-environment interaction. So last week we looked at the types of economies. Free market, communist, mixed. And then the next day we looked at all of the 5 themes of geography as a group. And then we looked at MR, movement and region. Well, tomorrow we're going to be looking at HE, human-environment interaction. Human-environment interaction is the way that we interact with our environment, how we modify, adapt to, or change our environment in any way. Anything from the types of clothes we wear to adapt to our climate, to building dams or rivers or farming, clearing land. Any of those things are adaptations or modifications, okay? To do that, and again, if you want to look at the lesson plans, the real place where you really are going to be looking is here in activities. The number 1 is our warm-up for the week. 2 is what we do for direct teach. 3 is what they're going to be doing individually. 4 is our lesson closure. It's never anything other than just the words lesson closure. And then 5 is what we do for exit tickets. The warm-up every week, if you click on it, it'll take you to a running log of our warm-up prompts that we do. Your kids get these on Monday of every week, and then they get the week to choose which warm-ups they want to do on which days. Okay? So the current week is always at the top. This week we've got make sense of it all, an important distinction. Okay, so we got all this stuff. You realize you cannot eat money. Who cares? And the bonus question. Oh, I actually need to adjust that bonus question, not the quote, but the question. I'm glad I noticed that. These are the prompts that they get to choose from during the week. They get this on Monday, and they choose from these over the course of the week. Okay? Wednesday is human-environment interaction. We'll read the Lorax, and they will do a stop and jot over the Lorax. That's kind of a good allegory for human-environment interaction. Then Thursday, we will do location and place. We'll talk about the difference between absolute and relative location, and we will talk about the difference between location and place. They're similar. They sound very, very similar, But the big difference is that location is where something is, where it is. Place is what it is like. Place describes the characteristics, what a place is like. Location describes where it is. Okay? Friday we'll get off of the G and move to the S, and we'll start talking about social things. In particular, we'll be talking about cultural characteristics. Okay? So that's this week's lesson plans. Now let's talk about everybody's jobs, because we wanted to do this on Friday, but it just got away from us, okay? So, banker. So basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through the jobs, and I'm going to talk about whether or not you're going to need access to any documents or any forms. Okay, a lot of the documents that you'll need access to are going to be digital, and you'll be able to, I'll share those Canvas documents with you as needed depending upon your job. Some of them are going to be printed off. The ones that are printed off, you'll be able to get in the classroom. They'll be on clipboards, and they'll all be in the same place. I'll indicate to you guys where that is tomorrow, okay? I haven't quite decided, but I'll tell you guys where they're going to be tomorrow. Let's start with Class Banker. Class Banker actually needs two forms. Number one, they need the restroom form because they're going to be in charge of tracking the classroom's water bill. They'll write the name of the students who are going to the restroom and the time that they're leaving and getting back on that form. You've all seen that form. That's the one we've been using. You will also have a binder that has this form in it. This is for tracking student-to-student transactions. So far, classes haven't really ramped up doing that a lot yet, except for fourth period and a little bit in second period. Although in second period, they kind of need some help because they're just filling out nonsense checks that can't be cashed because there's not all the necessary information. If you're the banker, then during your class period only, any checks that are given to me, I'll immediately give to you. Okay, those checks that I give to you, you will log in this bank transaction ledger. Then you'll put a $sign on them in highlighter, and then you'll give it back to me. Okay, what you're going to put from each check is the date that the check was written, the description, what was in the memo, what it was for, the amount of that check, who it was from, and who it was to. And once you have written that down in this section, whoa, Nelly. Once you've written that down in this section, then you'll put a $sign on the check in highlighter, and you'll turn that check into me, denoting that you have done this part. At the end of the day, I process all of these payment transactions. Okay, so that's the banker. Celebration coordinator. Okay, celebration coordinator is going to get access to a couple of Canva documents. They're going to get access to this celebration coordinator's brainstorm and this birthday calendar. Birthday calendar is very straightforward. This is where you're going to log all of your classmates' birthdays from your class period. Each class period has a certain color that you should color code your typing to. If you're in first period, it's going to be, I think, red. Second period is black. Actually, first period may be green. First period's green. Second period's black. Third period is a gold color. Fourth period is gray. You're going to put your class's birthdays on there. Celebration coordinators will also have editor access to this document here. This is a place where you can brainstorm ideas for upcoming class celebrations. If you click on it right now, you'll see that I've already populated the middle with the words Freedom Week, because that's our first big time class celebration where we need to have the room where we need to do decorations or something to denote this holiday that we're celebrating. And then on here is where you can put your ideas. It's just placeholders right now. You can take out the titles of the ideas and take out the nonsense words once you have an idea that you want to share with the rest of the celebration coordinators. This is something that all 4 celebration coordinators from all 4 classes will have. Class DJ. Class DJ is going to get access to this document that says class playlist. There's one for each class. If you click on that one, I'll show you what's up on it. First, you have On one side of the blue line, you have the artist and the song name for just your regular weekly playlist. And then over here on the right-hand side, we have the upcoming cultural celebration and then songs that we might want to hear for that. Okay, so kind of two places to collect songs. This is regular week-to-week area, and this is for upcoming celebrations. Each week, I'll turn these into a playlist for the class, and then for the celebrations, I'll turn those into playlists for the class. Class librarian. Okay, class librarian, you don't need any forms or anything to do your job. Class messenger, you don't need any forms or anything to do your job. Class podcaster. Okay, this is in Spanish. Let me go to the English translation before, because this is a unique one. We have a translation crew for this one. So in first period, third period, and fourth period, you guys are going to go on a 3-week rotation basis. So 1 week it'll be this group, then this group, then this group. Okay. When it is your turn, you guys all at all times, you'll have access to this script outline here. Okay. This script outline is broken into sections like introduction, what we covered this week, what we're covering next week, important dates in class coming up, school and community events, and your sign-off. Those are just basic sections of your podcast. And then I give you some advice in each section. But this is your place for you and your partner podcaster in your class to share notes. There's one for each class. There's a first period, a second period, a third period, or there's a first, a second, a third, and a translation group. Okay? Each week on Friday, you're going to take all of this that you planned throughout the week, okay? And you're going to do a recorded podcast that's going to get sent home to everybody's parents, okay? So make sure you're working hard on it during the week. That way on Friday, when it's time to record, you're ready to go, okay? My translation crew's job is a little bit different. You're going to take one of the whichever group was doing theirs that week. So if it's a group 1 week, then you're going to take group 1's podcast, and you're going to do a Spanish translation of that podcast. Okay, that way our Spanish-speaking families can stay in the loop of all the cool things that are going on as well. Okay, so that's what my podcasters will get access to. Okay, class substitute. The only thing that you're going to need access to is the roster. There's lots of copies of this. It's printed. It's on a clipboard. It's in the same spot as everything else. First period will put the date up here, and then the substitute in each class will highlight people who were not in class that day. It's also your job to do their classroom job on the day that they're not there. Okay? If and when I am going to be absent, and it's time for you to do that part of the substitute job, We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, because that's going to be just a little bit more complicated. Okay? Okay. Class tutor. All right? Class tutor, you don't have any forms that you need access to or anything like that. Cleanup crew. We'll divide the labor, which I think we did that for all the classes last week, but we'll make sure that we did this week. And the only document that you're going to need is this. This is a physical document that's printed out and in the room. It's available to you. I want first period to be red, second to be orange, third to be yellow, and fourth to be green. So what this is going to be is basically, if you have an area that is particularly disgusting on a day, you're going to circle that area with your class's color highlighter. So let's say you're in first period, which was red. Okay, if this area right here is like really gross, like somebody spilled something, they obviously were being messy. Okay, you're going to circle that area with the red highlighter. That way at the end of the day, I know that in first period, these kids were really messy, and I can address that with them either through a fine or through a discussion. Okay. Okay, cleanup crew, that's all. That's done. Data collector, you pass things out, you pick things up. There is no forms that you need at this juncture. Law enforcement. Okay, law enforcement, you have... Uh-oh. These are printed. This is a physical thing that you'll have in the classroom. There's different ones for first, second, third, and fourth period. There are the little nicknames for the classroom offenses that are down here. I'll go ahead and go through them. Disturbing the peace is talking during instruction. Loitering is being off task. Vandalism is minor destruction of property. Malicious destruction of property is any destroying of something costly or serious. Slander is blaming something on somebody else, accusing somebody else of something that they didn't do. Disorderly conduct is vulgar, obscene, or profane language in the classroom. So if a student, let's say that, I'm not even going to pick somebody, but just say whoever it is, you just put a tally under the offense. So if this student talked during instruction twice, then they'd have 2 tallies under disturbing the peace, and then at the end of the day, I will enforce those fines as I see necessary. Okay? Nobody will ever know what you fined them for versus what I fined them for, so they won't really be able to blame you for anything. Okay? Supply supervisor, we've already talked, and there's no forms you need. Teacher assistant, you're the last one. Thank goodness, because I'm running out of will to talk. Teacher assistant, what you're going to need, at least right off the bat, is going to be this. There's paper copies of this, something you'll fill out by hand. You'll get a copy of this for your class each day, and then during direct instruction, whatever somebody does, you write your name in that. You write their name in that box. So whoever asked a question, answered a question correctly, answered a question incorrectly, so on and so forth. You only write their name once. If they do it more than once, then we're going to do tallies. Okay? So tallies after they do it more than once. Okay. That is everything that I think we need to talk about for this week. If I missed something, I'll let you know later.